I'm Jan Slater, founder of CareerConnection.me. This is the seventh in a series of 7 videos featuring the 5 behaviors of a cohesive team. That is the marriage between Patrick Lencioni's wonderful book and assessment, The 5 Behaviors of a Dysfunctional Team, and Everything DISC, all published by Wiley. So if you've seen my other 6 videos, you know I've covered all the behaviors. And now let me answer some questions that I get a lot about this process. The first thing you might want to know is, how do I get a hold of a sample report? Can I see this new tool? You can. If you have or know a Wiley distributor, any of us can send you that report. So if you want to ask me, simply link in with me and ask me. I'll be happy to send it to you. It is a terrific tool. The next question I get asked a lot is, does everybody need to know everything DISC before you do the 5 behaviors of a cohesive team? Yes, they do. So for those of you who are planning to implement this program, please plan on at least an hour and a half, 2-hour session about the everything DISC so that everyone's grounded in the language and the theory of that assessment. So when it shows up in their new team report, they know what that's all about. The other thing I get asked a lot is, what team should I start with? Well, if you're going to lead one of these or suggest this to your organization, a couple of ideas. Patrick created his book initially and his team assessment for the C-suite, the executive team. But any team can really use this information. So it could be you know a team that needs to improve or is getting nowhere, and you know this would really benefit them. What happens, I get asked a lot, if all the scores are red? So to explain, when the team report is published and the participants do not see this team report until their first meeting, your leader sees it ahead of time, they get scores on these 5 behaviors: trust, conflict, commitment, accountability, and results. The scores can be green or high, yellow or medium, or red, low. What happens if all the scores are red? Well, they can be. I've worked with teams where the scores are all low. Patrick would tell you, and I think I would too, that if the trust score is low, it's really likely all the other scores are going to be. And that means if you're going to facilitate this, you really need to work on the trust issues. A warning: if the trust issues come from the leader of the team, it's probably not a good idea to try this, because that's usually very difficult to reestablish. But trust issues can come from all kinds of outside sources. The other question I get asked is, how long does all this take? That's a really good question. If you're flying people in, because people need to be in person for this, or you're going to another location, that's happened to me several times, I can actually get all of the behaviors done and my DISC training into 4-hour sessions. Now, that does not mean that the learning stops, of course. So I have a lot of suggestions, and the team will have a lot of ideas about how to keep this going once the facilitation, the formal facilitation, is done. The good folks at Wiley know teams want to follow up, and indeed they have created a progress report. So most teams retake that team report, the 5 behaviors of a cohesive team, 6 months after the initial facilitation to see how they're doing. If you have other questions, of course, do watch my videos on LinkedIn, link in with me, watch them on the YouTube channel, my YouTube channel, or ask me a question as you're watching this video. I will answer all of them. As always, if you would like to share your experiences with these terrific team tools, or I would also like to always find people who would like to be interviewed for my videos, please leave a comment or send me a message. I'll be happy to answer. Thanks for watching these 7 videos. I hope they've introduced you and gotten you excited about these wonderful team tools.